Alright guys, we're in my 2015 Infiniti Q50 Sport. This one has been modified a little bit. I put a still-in supercharger kit back in 2015. It was basically a modified still-in kit from the 370Z. They didn't have a production kit at the time, so what I did is I put together what I could from that kit, minus the intake track. The intake track didn't have a place to go through the radiator core support. It ended up making 501 horsepower to the wheels. This was dynoed at JMS in San Antonio, and shortly afterwards I had to upgrade the injectors. The still-in injectors that were provided to me, they maxed out on the dyno. And then afterwards I bought a smaller pulley, meth injection, got 540 wheel horsepower out of it. On the quest for more power, I got smaller pulley on the blower side. When I did the smaller pulley on the blower side, the IATs went up pretty high, so we ended up converting to E85. Maxed out the blower speed and did 618 to the wheels back in 16 or 17. After that, the transmission went out, of course. Too much torque. After the transmission went out, one bought a level 10 transmission. That one did not last very long. When I did the level 10 transmission, I also built the block just to be on the safe side. The engine never blew up, but I kind of wanted to see if the YSI, which is the larger blower from Vortech, I wanted to see if that would fit on the stock still-in bracket. So long story short, put the YSI on, level 10 transmission. Level 10 did not hold up for whatever reason. Sent it back, got another one, didn't hold. Sent it back, got another one, didn't hold. Decided at that point to go ahead and swap to the 6 manual transmission. But before that, I did lift the heads on the dyno. A lot of people who run high horsepower VQs don't really like to talk about head lift. It does happen. It happens to a lot of us. A lot of us will put out really good dyno numbers, and then shortly afterwards we'll have issues with pushing coolant. Not overheating so much, but just when the boost hits, that the cooling system pressurizes, and then you have coolant, spewing out everywhere. When I got dynoed, I told the tuner, do not put any timing in it. Keep it as conservative as possible, just because I don't want to lift the heads on this new motor that I built. So right now I'm at a lower horsepower level, so that way I can, learn the car. Basically the goal was to get the YSI blower on the still-in kit and see if it was a possible upgrade for those who already have a still-in supercharger. If you're like me, you get a taste of power, you want more, and you can spend a lot of money trying to upgrade the blower that it already has, or upgrade the system and changing everything around, when in reality just putting a larger blower on will make more power. You'll have to be tuned for it, so you'll need a really good fuel system. My fuel system is overkill, I'll admit that. But you do have to understand that a supercharger as large as the YSI takes a lot of power to spin, hundreds of horsepower to spin that blower at full tilt. So comparable cars running at the same level of boost make a lot more power than I do. It is my theory as well, but because the supercharger takes so much horsepower to run, that when the car was dynoing at 800 horsepower to the wheels, it was in reality seeing more 900 to 1000 because of the parasitic drag of the supercharger. That could have aided in the lift of the heads, or the blown head gasket, whatever you want to call it. I'm getting acclimated to the vehicle. The horsepower is probably around the 600 horsepower range, maybe 700. That's what it was dynoed at recently. It runs great on the street. When it's 100 degrees outside like it is right now, of course you're going to have a little bit less performance, but overall it's extremely fun to drive. The sound is amazing. The exhaust is custom 3-inch from the PPE headers that were expanded. The 3-inch piping goes to a MagnaFlow dual in, dual out, the kind with that has the X pipe in it. Then it goes to 2 vibrant resonators in the back. When you get on it, you want to hear it, but when you're cruising around town, you don't want to attract as much attention to yourself, especially if you're driving a 700 horsepower car. I got a Vortech YSI blower. on a still in kit. The bracket's been modified to put the tensioner up on top so that way we can run a cog system for less belt slip. The 2.5-inch pulley has been cut so that way we could get better traction on the belt, and you see it doesn't eat up the belt. Let me see, 3-inch piping. Used to be a 2.75-inch piping, now it's 3-inch piping here. Goes down to this massive intercooler. You can see it start from here and it goes to about right there. It's a Garrett core. It's got a radium surge tank. This one's got dual 525 Walbros in it. It's got a 525 lift pump in the back.
What engine is it?
3.7. This is the first 6-speed supercharged Q50 in the world. So yeah, I put a manual transmission from a 370Z in there.
The fudge? The fudge? The fudge?
Yeah. It's got a manual transmission. It's got the Vortech YSN blower, 23 pounds of boost. Makes 811 to the wheels. 811 to the wheels. You want to hear it?
I can tell it's super because you have the brake brakes. You have the brake brakes. That means you need.
This is the only one that has them. These are the Radical 2s. I was the prototype for them by Stillen.